Bonsoir, everyone. Sorry for being a little late. I'm a little sick today. Hello, Joel. Sorry, I didn't get your request. You must have come late. Good evening, Thomas, and thank you for your ongoing support. Leaving an early tip in the coffee jar, as did Stephen. Thank you, Stephen Crow, from the Croydon crew. I think you'll be happy tonight. Hello, Noisy Beast. Gidget Frank, hello. How are you doing? And thank you, Gidget, as well, for leaving a tip in the coffee jar, helping and supporting the stream, just like Maurizio Borbafilo from Brazil did. Thank you, Maurizio, as well. This stream is really largely the result of your support, except for that first track that is from way back. Hello, Miss You. Hello, Sex, Hugs, and Rock and Roll. And oh, my bad. No, be good. Yeah, that was unfortunate. How is the sound now? Is it much better? Any echo left? Thank you, Miss You. Hello, Zetman. Hello, Dominique. Abend, Rainer. Hello, Euler. Guten Abend. Hello, Raf. Yeah, the thumbnail. Would you know how sometimes I like to remind people of someone. This someone passed away exactly a year ago from this day. Stéphane Widver, very important figure in European electronic, avant-garde experimental music, and I should be playing some of his music next week, hopefully, as I've been looking for a record of his for years and years, and now I have it on the way. Not exactly there. Stéphane Widver. We're listening to Arrowvein, by the way, the very first single EP on Dean Records, D-I-N, Arrowvein, back from the late 90s, I believe. Shown the vinyl Dreamscape and the Grasshopper. Hello, El Gnashador. Exactly. Is the echo still here? Okay, now it should be good. Yeah, I was a bit distracted by a few things. Yeah, I've been puking my my inners out all evening and late afternoon. Hello, Dom. Hello, Nick. Hello, Record Hound. How you doing? Hello, Art Nularta. How you doing? Wow, you were in Tanzania. That's interesting. But yeah. Ah, good. But now Sean has to tell me. Isn't that fixed now? Hello, Ryan S. Hello, Zelvia. Yeah, it took a while. Sorry about that. Yeah. Well, at least. Hello, everyone. Again. Yeah, so I might be a little off before I get my groove tonight, but yeah. So that was Arvane, Cyclif. On Dean, 2002. Arvane 5. Which I don't exactly remember if it's the 5th release. I think it's the 5th release on Dean Records. It's coming now. Well, well, you know, for some of us, music is the cure of it all, isn't it? And I have some pretty damn fun, cool, unexpected, esoteric music to share with you tonight. Now we're playing a Mexican record. Jorge Reyes. Jorge Reyes has done quite a few albums. Yeah, this is a Mexican release from '89. He's been around throughout the '80s, and he's still around, if I remember correctly. This is the release of his that I really like. Sometimes, or often, too often, unfortunately for my taste, his records veer into music that's a little too new agey. You still have some of that here, and he plays a a shitload of instruments, ocarinas y flautas, prehispanicas, so ocarinas and flutes, pre-Hispanic ones. So many things there. There is a different pressing of it that he did, a limited edition back then with a holographic cover. I think Jose, our Aurora Records, has shown that sometime. Well, yeah, this one has a sort of more minimal feel with some instruments, obviously, that you can hear here, like that bring a sort of new world quality to this. 6408 für un 6008. The Westwood Forest, okay. Salut Greg. Hello Stephen. Stefan Geek. Hamburg. We'll be visiting Hamburg tonight. Well, I do that every day, so I'm gone. already gone since forever. Hello, Rich. How you doing? Yeah, Dave. our friend Dave. Dave, who's actually gonna have experience surgery next week, which hopefully will relieve some of the deep uncomfort he's under while being in a sort of comatose state. Yeah, life is not fair to everyone. Yeah, quite a few of his records are interesting, but yeah, this one is the real deal. From start to end, I really like every single track. Hello, I'm the Dead. How are you doing? Yeah, I guess that's also a reason for to continue tonight. Sean. So you missed the Arrow Vein EP that started the whole stream. But now I guess you guys can find it, figure it out by yourself. Hello Nor, how you doing? Well, we should be fine. Salutations, X-Prince Protégé, how you doing? Thank you, Euler, for leaving a very nice tip in the coffee jar, and Ryan Smith as well, and Artnul Arta. Thank you all, guys. Like, it's such an interesting and exciting year. As I was writing in the blurb for this video, good new music this year. And yeah, it's so easy to, when you're going into so many rabbit holes from the past that will help you understand more music of the present and the future. It's easy though to kind of fall back on the present. And I'm happy when I feel that I've managed to stay afloat. Staying afloat. Wow. Okay, Frank. Well, yeah, I'll let this one play a little bit. It's not that short, these tracks, but I'm talking and I'm happy to see you all, so hello 40 man. I wanted to let you hear also when it gets even more fourth world native or pre-Hispanic influences. So 40 Man is using this stream to experiment, okay. Oh well, Sean. No, that's Jorge Reyes is from Mexico. Pretty cool 80s cover, I would say. The holographic version of that is pretty damn cool as well, but a little more expensive and elusive. Hello Greg. How are you doing? Greg from Canada, who moved to Saint-Etienne, and him and I are having an ongoing fun spat about Saint-Etienne, where he moved, and Lyon, the mortal enemies of French football. Hello, Andorra's Revenge, how are you doing? Wow, zeitgeist again, but from a distant, a more distant past. Hello, Chris, how are you doing? Well, always an option, huh? That's decent. That's pretty decent, I would say, Sean. So this is another recent friend. A couple of weeks ago I played another record by this Belgian artist, Bambi OS. Bambi OS. This is a pretty cool package, featuring remixes by Broken English Club, Don't DJ, Georgia, bands I've played here a few times. But I'm gonna play the original tracks. Really cool drums, minimal, industrial, and at the same time also very non-Western. Oh, how sweet of you, miss you. Yeah, by all means, if you're here and you like the stream, you can always do that. Like leave a thumbs up, a like to the video, which somehow helps. Still not totally sure how, but apparently it helps reference the video. That's what I hear people say. I don't exactly know what that means, but we're slowly growing, huh? Finding new friends. And you know, friends is not just friends here, it's a community helping each other, finding out about unknown music and helping out getting the music as well. Well, Ryan, you should even come on the 14th if you can. Is this crazy? Well, what's crazy is trying to figure out the name of the artist from that cover. Bambi OS. Last week we had we had a little bit of everything, didn't we? But there's always something a little missing, something that I don't manage to sneak in. Obviously, 2.5 hours, it's a long time, but it's also nothing. So yeah, for me this will be great to use as a tool in a DJ set, but I think it's more than just that, and it's here. Yeah, great rhythm. And what's quite cool with this record also is that you get 3 original tracks. I'm gonna let it bleed into the next one, and 3 remixes by masters of rhythm from an electronic music perspective. But this is modular synthesis electronic music, obviously. These are not samples. This is just someone who's focusing on the drums with his electronic music. Yeah, I guess drums could be a theme tonight. Let's see. Yeah, it's pretty heavy. Like, sure, you got this 4 to the floor slow bass drum there, but everything that's happening in between, it's sort of like the Tony Williams of techno here. Interesting. Brand X. I never really got into them, but I never gave them. I don't remember their. I haven't listened to that like for a long time. Return to Forever. I don't know. So it's something for me to to check out. Huh. Giving me some challenge, huh? Oh no. Alright, let's see. Hello, Christopher. Some of the records tonight transited through Christopher, so big thank you to our never modern friend here. Oh, this is okay, interesting. For me, 2000 Otaker is just crazy max MSP experimentation, which I love. This is way more sort of tribal industrial. Hello KS, how you doing? Hello Joe, how you doing? Yeah, can't wait to share that as well. Why not? Oh no, I just suggested I hadn't prepared a thought of anything Japanese tonight, but like, we'll see if we can change that. Well, always trusting your intuitions, huh? Last week I played, I think it's the first time I ever did that. I played a record that I didn't say what it was. I didn't show it. And maybe I'll tell you tonight what it is. I'll play a couple of songs though. And in drums we trust. Yeah, Christopher, I guess. I guess that's a prerogative of the Americans right now. Listen closely to the production of this. Can you hear? There is something going on this. This is tablas, obviously. Hello, Alan. How are you doing? Well, this is from 82, 83, from Egypt, so not far off. But what's interesting is that he's playing the tablas, which is an Indian instrument, and adding all this flanger. Yes, they did. It's in the basket. There's two Exotica remixes by Seafield in the... maybe I'll show it to you. Ah, that's cool. That's pretty cool. Zev, yeah. I never really got into Zev though. I think he's interesting. Sometimes in collaboration, in solo. I've never been sure about it. But this is just insanely good. Okay, I'll play another track after the track I played last week. Now maybe someone will grab the copy available on Discogs. Yes, this is a belly dance record. Kamis Henkesh. I don't know how to pronounce it, so I do it the way it's available to me. '83. I already played Kami Senkesh tracks a month ago, a couple of months ago maybe. A belly dance record that had different composers, including one or two tracks by Kamis Henkesh. And this is one of the 3 albums of his. There's another one that I'll play sometime, and one that is just... yeah, well, unaffordable. Ah, now you're talking speakers or no? Yeah, A1 is probably one of the most fun shops to dig records in. It's filled with records and so chaotic in New York, in Brooklyn, if I remember correctly. Yeah, that's what I think as well. I agree, Alan. So this starts a little like on the nose, maybe you could say. More real belly dance music in a way, but he will get there. I love that visual. I doubt he was behind the concept of this cover himself, but what do I know? So after an hour, yeah, I haven't really said so, but he If you're not already, by all means, subscribe to the channel, leave me a comment. If you're watching this later, tell me what you think of the stream, what I missed, what I succeeded in. And it's just nice to keep the conversation floating during the week. And if you really like the stream, you can always support me following the links in the description of the video. Leaving a coffee to you, DJ of the night. Now it's getting there. And thank you, Rich, on that note, for leaving a tip in the coffee jar as well. Manhattan, sorry, Alan. Yeah, I'm not sold on it yet on the Revenge. I need to get to all the tracks. Hello Paul, how you doing? Exactly, Dominic, and now it gets really deep. When talking about beach in Bajas, this weekend on Soundome, the label Aguirre is doing an anniversary operation, and all records are like 60% off. Find this under 50 euros, get this. This is gonna become a very expensive record, I would say. Yeah, you see, the first part was a little bit to welcome the tourists, and now we're getting really into the nitty-gritty. And now back to the Western world, or
please talk to me. It's okay to be scared about what happened. I'm scared too.
So I will say that Camis Henkes record is one of my greatest finds of the year, by far.
Scared. There's so many options.
Yes. The idea was to see if someone would figure it out last week. And someone did. But there's still one copy left. Ken Jamal, huh? You don't... Oh, you're speaking my language today, huh? But you don't know how much. Now we're going to France. Oh, there'll be more clarinet. Ta mari, ta femme. Well, have a nice beer, Dom. I'll see you later. The thing, Art Nullart, is that sometimes pursuing a record, patience, the journey finding the record, that's also enhancing the experience. Well, let me tell you that I think the next one is gonna be more than 200 euros. If it's sold by someone who knows what he's doing. But who knows, you might be lucky. And on that note, the one who grabbed the record, if you haven't already tipped your DJ of the night, as Sean is suggesting here, that's a good way to keep this going. Now we're listening to Ellen Island. The second, I think it's the fourth album, but it's the second LP, the second vinyl of this French Hypnogogic ambient pop producer. Silence is Priceless, which came out on the ever great Knekke label. And yeah, this is one of the sweetest albums of the year, I would say. He's stepping up from the first one. Of course, you have to love this sort of like... Well, this is pop music and it's absolutely fantastic. I do what I can. Yeah, easy. Lots of copies available still. I think they only did 300, but I think this is music that is gonna get hyped quite a lot. Of course, yes, miss you. You can still have some fun sometimes, huh? Mindless fun.
Oh my
God. This is obviously totally postmodern. But as Raph was saying, yeah, he does manage to create a fun vibe here. Salut Pinapa. I love Pinap's on-point comments here. I guess you're talking about the movie Street Trash. First movie by, what was his name? He used to be the Steadicam operator of James Cameron, and he did that movie that kind of sounds like the project of Trump in New York, if he could have his way. Getting rid of homeless people. Brian Kilmeade. Well, 40 Man, I would say Discogs is like everywhere. You just need to learn how to read someone's seriousness in grading, and it's not that difficult. And you can also like talk with the seller and to make sure that you're gonna be happy. If you have doubt. So this is a very experimental record. I heard about some time ago, and then our friend Jose was hyping it since he found a lot of stock copies of the cassette version of this. Marielena Arispe. Yeah, I'm not doing good tonight. Voces de la Flauta. So it's a flute record, not clarinet, flute, and compositions by Mario Lavista. Gerhard Munch and Antonio Rusek, which is what we're listening to currently. So, electronically modified flute. Not an easy record to find. But Discogs can be helpful in these cases. Oh, it's on Soundome, Sean. Exactly. So yeah, the kind of record that not many people will talk about in the VC. I guess when I heard it first, I was like, I need this. I absolutely need this. Of course, you don't need anything. But in this case, the record is also famously considered as a horrible pressing. As you can hear, it's fine. I guess people got unlucky. In a way, this reminds me of it's not the same music at all, but it kind of reminds me a little bit of Asmus Tietchens. How the elements will find their own way through human-made machines, instruments, devices. Which one, Pinup, huh? Next is a record that the kind of tracks I always feel I need. I'm looking for tracks like that, and there's very few. I don't know why there's not more. Grateful Dogs, how you doing? So this is a flute track, huh? Exactly. But not exclusively musical instruments, as we'll discover later today, or experience. Apparently, Marie-Helena Arzipe, she wrote a book on musical techniques for the flute and composition that probably no one really cared about, but interesting character. No way, Stefan. Helmut Erdmann was your teacher? Are you kidding me? Now you have to talk to me privately. This is insane. Yeah, sometimes, yeah. There'll be such a night in a month or so. Oh, you'll get quite some stuff tonight, Zeruja. Hello, Daniel. How you doing, my friend? Yeah, I just don't remember you mentioning that he was your teacher, or I missed that. Yeah, I played a record of his like a year ago or so. Obviously, this is music that craves. Time and attention. From the series Compositores Mexicanos. Yeah, he has a jolly look, indeed. Well then, huh? How would we know there's a big Heino documentary? For those who don't know, Heino is this like, how to describe? Is it like Schlager? I'm not even sure. It's the German pop music. Yeah, the Sparks, absolutely. I have a bunch of Sparks records. I don't listen to them that often, but it was fun back then. Oh well, Sean. That's good, big... I'm losing my English here. Anyways, after that quiet music, the craved space. Now let's feel the whole space. Let's leave no room for anything. Hello, Edward. Yeah, she was. He did 3, Stefan, but only 2 of them are good. Now here's some digidub from Japan, I believe. This is the second release by this band called J Version 3. Fast digidub. Never, like very rarely do you get tracks like digidub tracks like that are that fast. Usually they will stay under 110 BPM. So this is pretty cool. He does. Exactly. See? There's all sorts of ways to see music. So I guess this must be like 140 BPM track, if not even more, which means it's as well a half tempo track. Absolutely. Thank you, Sean, for reminding us that. Edward, there's always worse somewhere. I'm not sure I know what you're talking about, Jeffrey, but I'll definitely have to check it out. Check it out if it's like that. J version 3. The first EP they did was interesting, but this one is my god, we're never gonna escape the audiophile jokes, aren't we? Next record though, that was one of the biggest adventures of my digging life. I would say it's in the top 5 stories of how difficult it was to get that record and how weird it was also, the transaction. Yeah, when it's new records, Sean is trying to show you both like the Discogs link, but also the Bandcamp one if the record is still available at retail price. Alright, I will check it out. Yeah, the Japanese guys and dub, that's an interesting story, yeah. Salut Pina-Up, à plus tard. From bass to bass. Last week I played a couple of real grails to me, including one that is like, you know, the rarefied air, the Harold Bud one. This is like that, but even more elusive. Not necessarily as expensive, but yeah, took me quite a lot of time and attempts to get this. I thought I bought it twice before, and I'll show you why I failed. Yes, Stéphane. Of course, this is Stefano Grillo on bass. But he's not alone here, as you will discover. Stefano Grillo, I mean, hands down, the most impressive double bass player in the history of the instrument, as far as I'm concerned. I didn't buy this in Romania. So this is a very difficult record to find. First because it's a Romanian record, but it's part of a series of LPs for the second International Festival George Enescu, 1985. I believe there's like 8 or 9 releases in that series, and they all have exactly the same cover. Here you got this usual heavy stuffed glasses from Romanian records of the time. Yeah, heavy glass indeed. I love them. So the only way to distinguish the different volumes is the label. And guess how many times I found someone who had this, sold it to me, and it wasn't the correct record. Most of the other records in the series are orchestral works of the classics, Baroque composers, Vivaldi. And this one, as you can hear, the 4 tracks on there, including a composition by Fernando Grillo, who's playing here, but who's not playing on his own composition. I knew you would like that one, Xavier. Huh? There's one copy of this on Discogs for, I believe it's like something like 1,500 euros, which is crazy. It's not normal. The guy who's selling it in the south of France, I tried to reason with him, and he's always he's told me that he bought it for a lot of money, which is bullshit. It's just an ego thing. He made a mistake. He's never gonna sell it at that price. But I mean, if you find it cheap, good for you. But it shouldn't be a cheap record. But like 1,500, nah. Well, this is the one with this track, which is a Iancu Dumitriescu composition with what's this ensemble they have? The Ensemble Hyperion, which was often conducted by Dumitrescu himself. They are featured on 3 tracks here, 2 with Fernando Grillo as soloist, but this is Iancu Dumitrescu. And this will be hard to hear anywhere. Oh, the album of Grillo and Cramps is the best of the whole series, I would say, Alan. By far, if you want to to test, to feel the water of the Cramps label in Italy, the Grillo one is absolutely the crown jewel of the series, from the Diverso series. Thank you, David Nido Giscale Dili. Oh yeah, well, David is leaving me a very nice tip after pulling the trigger on the Camis Encash record. Thank you, David. Much appreciated. And glad you liked it and felt the love. Yes, Daniel. This is written music, by the way. This is not an improvisation. I got this yesterday, full disclosure, and I'm playing this for the first time now, so I'm discovering it with you. And I'm absolutely over the moon with this. just quickly test played it a little bit to identify the track and to see if everything seemed okay. But yeah. No, so how I did it is I basically contacted everyone who had it on Discogs and asked them, would you entertain an offer on this? And one guy said he had it and disappeared, and a month later he reappeared and said, oh sorry, I'm not that much on Discogs anymore, blah 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 blah. And just communicating with him was one of the weirdest and most complicated adventures I've ever had on the internet. It was fairly nice, it was just so weird. It's like he didn't want to sell, which he maybe didn't. But eventually we made a very fair deal for the both of us. And here we are. Now we're all enjoying this or hating it. Exactly, Rudiger. This record is extinct, I would say. Like finding it is like finding a mammoth in the ice. It's not supposed to exist anymore. Quite a few people I know from Romania who are aware of that record have never seen it. Cheers, Christopher. Well, we have someone that I have to contact again, and we'll discuss that sometime. Yeah, he was. So George Enescu was a very popular composer in Romania back then. And as you can see, this is a festival that he helmed, that he directed. Most of it was Baroque, classical music. But one night, this happened in front of an audience, for obviously. Hello, Coulter Parks, how you doing? Well, it's the Iancu Dumitrescu track from this record that Sean is linked in the chat a little earlier. Well, obviously no one is going to pay that right now. Maybe in the future though. It is, Thomas. For me it literally was. That was that record literally was in my top 10 most sought records for quite some time now. So, and I mean the Harold Budd record I played last week was part of that list as well, and it's an extraordinary record. Difficult to find, not cheap, but copies come. I mean, I've seen a few copies of it. I've never seen any copies of this until now. You're welcome, Coulter. Already quite a fine journey, isn't it? Like only an hour and 10 minutes in. Salut Patrick. Comment va? Patrick here from France. He's not that good with his English yet, but we'll see how welcome he is. So again, the reason why all the covers are the same is because Romania, behind the Iron Curtain back then, no money to do 9 different covers, so not enough at least, or priorities. So not much money, but a lot of gloss. Next record is, would you describe this as primal? In a way, this is the least primal music ever and the most at the same time. Again, this is written music, this is composed, and extremely difficult to perform, as you can imagine. A lot of musicians tend to dismiss that school of music, the Spectral music school, as music composed in a way that only the composer would be able to perform it. It's too difficult to understand it. But luckily for us, as listeners, we don't need to understand the technique of it. We can just enjoy it for however we perceive it. If you don't enjoy that, that's fine as well. But of course, with this, you get accused of being elitist or whatever, like this is not music or... And again, I always understand when people feel like that about stuff, about music such as this. But I guess that when you broke free, there's no turning back. I don't know, Raf. Maybe that's also like a preference. Like if you go to Philip Glass or Steve Reich, you won't really get that. See? That's a perfectly fine way to embrace this. It sounds like the inner workings of the cosmos. Why not? I don't know if it's only all about that, but partly for sure. Trennung Schmerz. Okay. That sounds about right. Like, I've had that happen to me. But yeah, as I was talking about, like, how this could be in one way primal and in another one the opposite, the next one is pretty primal in a way. Getting towards the end of the side, so a little more surface noise there. Yeah, they're all great, Stefan. Like it's, I think, I hope that history will give their due more and more over time. Well, last week I played a Howled Bud record that comes from the US, from Texas actually. Probably by way of New York though. Electricord, the state label of Romania. Oh, we had some, Dominique, already. Ellen Island, the dub track. Hello, George. George is from Romania. And I think we were talking about it when he visited Sweden some time ago. But that one, I think, is one of the few that he doesn't have. And still being from Romania and having a record store there. But I might be off there. Hopefully he has it. This is a cool little record, which was released, I believe, in the 90s on CD. Central Africa. It's basically music for Senza in the land of Gbaya. Gbaya is the ethnicity, like the folk between Cameroon and Central Africa. Centrafrique. So it's a region right in between the two countries, because obviously the frontiers, the borders that were created by Westerners don't really work with the way the population actually was located in Africa. So this is the sort of showcase of Senza. On one side, you get more like instrumental tracks like this one, which is beautiful. Senza is just a little box. It's the cheapest instrument. You would take some metal bits from an umbrella or a bicycle wheel, then you would flatten them and just make like little tongues on the box, and you would just play it. So it's one of the most common instruments in Africa, but there are very different traditions of how to make them as well, even though like there's no wrong way to make them. Yes, good question from Stefan to George. So this was just released, by the way, which is, you could argue that this is going in the direction of what I've been predicting for quite some time, that ethnomusicology is having a renaissance, and that a lot of the still kind of affordable, exciting records are in that field, I would say. I'll play another track from this that I really like as well. I mean, all the tracks are great on this, honestly, but I'll play one that is a bigger ensemble. Well, Dominique. And thank you, Mr. Zosh, for leaving a tip in the coffee jar. Merci beaucoup, Mr. Zosh. Much appreciated. Haven't seen you in the chat yet today, so I guess that's a way to say hello. So here is where the Gbaya Bode are in Africa. What's interesting is that there's a recording from the 70s on Okora, from the same area, with some of the same musicians. But this is a much later recording. Much later and later. It's mostly from 77. And yeah, this is an absolute highlight of the year so far, as far as I'm concerned. Well, you'll have some to catch up later, which is kind of nice as well. Yeah, and this was just released. It's probably a small pressing, but it's probably going to be possible to get this for some time at least. Yeah, here you can hear the maracas as well. Here's the part at the beginning of an answer. Thank you, George. Yeah. Absolutely. Bebe is, Francis Bebe was the Senza master. He was a guitar player and a Senza. He incorporated Senza in his music that is quite unique and special thanks to a wider range of instruments on some tracks. He used synthesizers and drum machines as well. I've never needed to understand the words of any music to appreciate it, to love it. I guess that as non-English native speakers, we have an advantage there. We might have. Growing up as kids with music around us that we couldn't understand a word of, so we had to learn to appreciate it from a different perspective than the lyrics. And I'm still a kid then. I guess most of you must have realized that a lot of the stuff that I pursue now is pulling a thread. I already have these obsessions, these loves in music, these quests. For example, 2 weeks ago, I played that big Grail of mine, a sort of sampler of the music of the Firenze electronic music studio held by Pietro Grossi. And I already had a bunch of records of his. I already had a couple, 2 or 3 that really started my obsession, like actually more than that. But as I play a big landmark find in his canon, that's when I start to think, okay, let's go back and all these other records that he's featured in, let's investigate them more thoroughly and maybe change gear in terms of seeking these out. And after playing that record 2 weeks ago, that's why I got this one. Which is easy to bypass since it's mostly electronic versions of classical, modern, classical, baroque music made with the computer in the 70s, 80s. And it's weird. There's even a George Gershwin version here. But in between, see, a Pietro Grossi track and a hefty one. And here a Teresa Rampazzi track, a Mayer one. So there is a bunch of original tracks mixed in it, and this is the Pietro Grossi one. Hello Andrew, how are you doing? I hope you're having a good day. See? Yeah? I think you might have something here for the man. Don't say that, huh? Yeah, exactly. So here's a little fun thing. So this is not a cheap record, but not an expensive one. But I never wanted to pay a lot, which is why I didn't get it yet. It came with a silver pen on this that was quite discreet. And in my great wisdom, I thought, like, let's see if I can get it away with alcohol and different solvents. And I managed to get the silver out, but this remained underneath. Can't win, huh? I absolutely love this. You know, there is a type of music in early electronic music that kind of bores me, like the Moog stuff most of the time, or the bleep blop tracks. And in a way, this could be such a track. It's not that far away, but it has this such a fierceness that puts it in a different category. Hey, Nathaniel. Nathan, sorry. It is unfortunate, but again, it plays to my advantage. It is, but it's not cute, which is what I realize I object to that kind of electronic music. Yeah, this is definitely fierce. Yeah, Plunderphonics can be very adjacent to this. Maybe we can have something slightly more soothing next. Because this is an assault on your synapses, for sure. Yeah, it's around. It used to be impossible to find before Discogs. Most copies will probably be in Italy, but not exclusively. Pietro Grossi's got an album of that is purely electronic interpretations of Paganini. Man, that one is a chore. Like, I'm obsessed with him, but like, I have my own limits. Yeah, and that's cool, but what's... we're getting into what this is about, which is not why I got it, but this is... Oh my god, yeah. It is Pietro Grossi adapting. Yeah, Marenko. This is horrible. But it's fun that he decided to do that for whatever reason he had in the 70s. It was going on, but I made a clean cut. Hello, Johan. Koenig is one of the earliest composers in Köln in electronic music in the early 50s, like 52, 53. He is basically one of the teachers of Stockhausen. And I see where you're coming from with this, but I think it's a little different though.
Ой там, липутишуть, ой там, липутишуть. Наберуть рисок, повне фартушок, нехай. Люди брешуть, нехай. Люди брешуть, ой, нехай. Брешуть, набрешуться лихо, набрешуться лихо, а я молоденька, а я молоденька.
This is a record that I've been ambivalent about for quite some time until I decided, okay, no, I'll pull the trigger. This is a duo from Belarus.
Ой, трава зеленеє.
It's Anton Anishkanshanka, who's an ethnomusicologue, electroacoustic producer, and Hanna Silivonchik, who's a folk singer, ethnographer. And this is, I believe, their one album. Zaha. Released last year in Belarus, from Minsk. I do, Alain, but I'm still after some. Yeah. Yeah. That Gossi record before Discogs, yeah. Just finding it, like, you would find one of them if you were lucky sometime in your life. If you were in the right place, in the right country. This is sort of, I would say, electronic new agey folk music from Belarus. And I need some of that in my life. Obviously field recordings as well. At first, when I heard this, I thought like, maybe there's too much production, too much reverb on the voice, and might be so. But I decided to focus on the music solely rather than the production. And I really, really enjoyed that record now. Yeah, there's a lot of that in poetry, indeed. Wow. Okay. Directly from Butch Morris. Alan Johnson, which is not a guy. Alan Johnson is a duo, counterintuitively. This is the record from 2 years ago, in 2023, 10 years tonnage. 10 years. 10-year tonnage by Alan Johnson on the Sneaker Social Club label. They just had a new EP out that is even weirder than that. Maybe too weird. But this is music that is still like a question mark to me, in all the best ways. Bass music. I really don't know what this is. Whoop whoop, indeed. Wow, man. That's pretty neat. Oral history is, I think, is always the best when it comes to music. Books are fine, but oral history, man. Well, you're talking about the previous one, Sean, right? As a DJ, a track like that is amazing because there's not like a steady bass drum that rounds the track that makes it easy to mix. It just, you have to be creative and you have to trust your instinct and imagination with a track like that. Alan Johnson, 10-year tonnage. Who knows? Yeah. So it's a duo of guys who really have they've taken an oblique path in dubstep. Is this dubstep? I doubt it. But dubstep can be so many different things, so who cares? And now the soothing. Every now and then there are these artists that I love, that I have a very personal and selective appreciation for their discography, which means basically that I know exactly which records I like from them and which ones I don't need. And that's a perfect way to trick yourself. Because obviously we're talking about artists that have a substantial body of work. And so is the case with this artist who I thought I had like a perfect 30 something albums of. Until I had a discussion with one of you on Instagram, and who was mentioning a CD of this artist that I had thought like, this is alright, but I'm not sure I need that one. And just as we were discussing it, I went on YouTube and realized that, oh shit, I'm not done with the discography of this guy. N&iacute, Asmus Tietchens, on the Calm Plastic label. Stéphane, we're going home. And again, one of these depressing Émile Cioran quotes. We're not living Romania here. Émile Cioran, the philosopher of despair, who is probably one of the finest quills of the 20th century in terms of the quality of his writing. But boy, was he wrong on everything in his life. He sided always with the bad guys and realized it though, but always a little too late, and was depressed by that. I think he threw himself out of the window of his flat in Paris in the 80s. Dave! Salut Dave! Ah, nice to see you. Babaluma, I've talked about that shop a lot whenever you guys are asking me when you're going to Paris, where should you go? And Babaluma is one of the record stores of the free record stores I always try to make you visit. This is not like a friend of mine. I like this guy and his shop is amazing. We're friendly, but I'm not getting paid basically. But nice to see you. Yeah, I had this is the shop where Alan, who I played that record 3000 something or something 3000 earlier this year that a lot of you liked. And well, nice to see you. Yeah, one of these Asmus Tietchens tracks that really, again, deserves time and attention, as it could be a field recording of almost nothing happening. Profondeur 4000, thank you. A record that I think a friend Sean here bought and really enjoyed after we played it here. So Asmus, now I believe this is the 31st album of his, or that he's involved with, that I have on vinyl, and there might still be one worth getting. There are some records of his that I don't think are that interesting. But this is like the created field recording of what's going on inside of a boat, singing to itself, like the reverberation of all the metal inside. It's, I don't know the English word for it, but you get me. Now it is getting more intense, growingly intense. Absolutely. Hello, the vinyl scavenger. How are you doing? Yeah, there's a lot of that going on, that you feel that you're in this kind of echo chamber where everything sounds deaf. So there is a sort of, as you get into it, an almost psychoacoustical phenomenon there of like, of acoustic suffocation and then release. To think that Asmus is still around, still performing, while he was part of the tail end of like the original krautrock with the Lilienthal project on Breaking Records back in 76, 79, 76, 76 I think. A collaborative effort featuring Connie Plank and members of Cluster, if I remember correctly. It is somewhere here. Pretty nice cover as well. Yes, nearly 2 hours. If you haven't already, by all means leave a like to the video. If you're watching this, whenever you're watching this, or if you're here but you want to extend the conversation, the exchange, leave me a comment under the video to tell me what I missed, what I should know, what I what I got wrong, what I got right, and let's do this. And if you really like the show and want this to keep happening every week now, going strong on 3 years every single Friday, almost like actually more than that, but in this format for 3 years now, well, support the stream and the video by tipping your DJ of the night. Follow the Ko-fi link in the description of the video, and if you can afford it, that's very instrumental. Thank you. And thank you, Andrew Lukov, for leaving a nice tip in the coffee jar as well. Merci beaucoup, Andrew. How do I pronounce the title? Well, I'm not German, but I would say Demer Attacker. Yeah, so Matthew, the vinyl on demand box is actually really good. It compiles early cassettes from the first half of the 80s, I believe. But I'm quite critical. I think he's got something really special and unique in modern music. He's one of these guys that is worth having quite a lot of his albums. Not all, but so yeah, absolutely, you should investigate him a little more if you can. And this is really good, but there is stuff of his that I find steps above this. But this is great. Well, you know what? That's the thing. When I got this fairly recently, after I had that discussion with that friend on Instagram, I grabbed a copy for $25, I think. Again, these records, most of these records that we're talking about of avant-garde experimental music, dating from back from the 80s up until now, most of them are 300, 500 copies. So when they're gone, it's a big world, or it's a small world actually, with a lot of people, a lot of competition. So that's why I think that most often if you really feel something for these records, for this music, you should not sleep. You should go to Babaluma and other like-minded shops. What I liked about Babaluma is that it's kind of it's a digger's little paradise in a way. He will have techno, experimental music, classics, new stuff that that he's promoting, and so you can feel that there is a culture behind the shop, not just behind the music there, but like that there will be people who eventually produce music who you could say were children or the product of the culture that was engineered organically in this shop. And there are other shops like that, obviously. That's exactly it, Vinyl Scavenger. Wow, that's cool. I once played in a submarine outside of Paris, in the river there. It was a crazy, weird thing. The sound of water tends to be cyclic, and that's one of the qualities of Asmus Tietchens' music. It's not exactly loops, although he uses the technique of tape loops. But I think that when the aesthetic of your tape music is connected with the acoustic aesthetic of water, it's a great match. In the submarine, it was I was the DJ to the party, and it was a party, let's put it that way. People came with a lot of clothes and left with less. There you go. Thank you, Sean, for doing that. See how that's really a journey, records like that, tracks like that. If we went back to the beginning of the track, it would be completely different, although it still feels familiar to what we experienced like maybe 8-10 minutes ago. Yeah, absolutely. Mike Cooper, the British guitar player who moved to Australia or New Zealand, but his music is more, has the exotic feeling, which, yeah, would fit that actually, I agree. Hey Dagon, how you doing? Oh, indeed, what's ready? Told you it was gonna get intense, huh? I think the last record I bought from Babaluma was back when I was in France taking care of my dad's affairs, and it was a hurdy-gurdy record from a French musician like 2 years ago or so. Yeah, because it's the normal thing to do, huh? Buying hurdy-gurdy records online. Yeah. Pierre Bastien, while I was playing that Senza record earlier, I thought it had a Pierre Bastien quality as well. Pierre Bastien, the French composer, musician who build instruments with mechano toys, but often plays also with the cornet in water. Exactly, the clastrier. We have the best memory when it comes to records, isn't it? Alright, Asmus, thank you. Now another record that was not necessarily the best pressing ever, Antonio Rusek. Antonio Rusek is the composer of that piece we listened to earlier, played by Marielena Arzipe, flute and electronic treatment from Mexico. Antonio Rusek is kind of at the helm of that great compilation of Mexican electronic music that came in a PVC sleeve with a weird design. It's a black PVC sleeve with some motifs, purple, green and white. I have it somewhere that my friend Jose is reissuing soon. He just got the test pressings and he told me it sounds great, so we might talk about it later. This is a 7-inch that he self-released as part of an exhibition he did, as he is an artist, a graphic artist as well, and he pressed 150 copies of it that were supposed to come with a catalog of the exhibition, and apparently no one came, so they never really fully produced the catalog, if I understood correctly, and well, it only came out as a white label 7-inch with some inserts, and I'll show you the the label soon. We're staying in the weird music realm, huh? Weird is not that. I mean, it's not that weird considering if you're into avant-garde electronic music. This one actually has a sort of Harry Bertoia quality of a sound sculpture, which I believe this is actually the case, rather than electronic music. It is, huh? Dagon. Although what makes it interesting to me is the contrast between something that has a sort of, almost Buddhist quality and a lot of tension. And here's the record. It's not a a cheap one, unfortunately. I think it's from like 1980, 82, 83 maybe. '84. I mean, the record is perfect. I could probably clean it a little more, as it was stored in a not in the necessarily best way. It's still pretty amazing music, I would say. If you're into stuff like Takis and obviously Harry Bertoia, but Harry Bertoia tends to become a little boring after a while, or quite quickly. I love it, but Harry Bertoia was doing these sound sculptures that, well, it tends to become a little repetitive, I would say. Not versatile, not enough. Tom Boto! Super late, yeah? Ah, that's nice. Clock DVA in 2025. How incredible it is. Adi... what's his name again? Adi... something. Ah. Wow. Alright, a little old nugget from the shelves now. Adi Newton, thank you. S of Tens victim 1876. Hello, Ivan. Yeah, I guess sort of a little bit of Exotica disco flavor. This is, to the best of my knowledge, the only track by Simon Weiss on this compilation from Rush Hour from 14 years ago. Track Simon Weiss, Amsterdam Wave. I think the track is featured on a 12-inch or something like that. Not really sure about it. It's a solid compilation, but really, yeah, you got Steve Rackmad, New World Aquarium, a lot of Dutch guys, since this is Rush Hour. Rush Hour is a shop in Amsterdam, a label and a distributor. And they're kind of one of the two main electronic music outlets in the Netherlands. The Razor Maid, huh? Yeah, I got a bunch of the Razer made compilations. Probably got like 15, 20. Okay, we almost made it to the finish line, huh? I guess music is the best cure. If you hopped in midway, I started the stream fairly sick. Not the best day so far, but it's been a quite nice 2+ hours so far, and so I guess we'll get to the finish line 15 more minutes or so. Anyone's got a request? A realistic one? Cheers, Steven. The hard stuff, we're not even close to the hard stuff here. But maybe we get to the sweet stuff. Just a simple little house track from the early 2010s. It had quite a few people raise an eyebrow back then. Well, not only teledisco though. As this is a Muslim Goes t-shirt. And yes, again, I know I'm repeating myself, but tonight's alright, a little slow, but like if you like this, you want this to happen every Friday, as it does, by all means leave a tip to your DJ of the night. Follow the Ko-fi link that Sean the Vinyl Dreamscape just gave us, and do what you can. But next, as I was saying, a little sweetness for Dom. He's not even here, but so who else? For Bobby Braden, if he is watching this an hour later, this is for you, Bobby. Yes, I can do that for sure, even. Thank you, Alan. Alan always, and Breakfast King of Loyola. Paul, for both of you, for leaving tips in the coffee jar. Merci beaucoup. And I guess we might end the stream with that little sweet track from the early 90s, a B-side from a single of the best album by Unrest. Unrest, Cherry Cherry. Cherry Cherry featured on their Imperial FFR album. Absolute genius indie lo-fi pop album. Not just lo-fi. But this track, Wednesday Proud, exclusive to this 7-inch on the Teen Beat label, their own label. Cheers, Thomas. Unrest are responsible of two of the best rock records of the 90s as far as I'm concerned. And this was one of the very few records of theirs that I wanted, that I was missing. It's not an expensive record, but finding it in the wild, not the easiest. 1991. Oh wow, Matthew, I'm quite jealous of you. See, that's the thing. Not expensive, but elusive. So tonight, I want to thank everyone for stopping by. I want to also to thank everyone who will stop by in the future and let me know about what you thought. Excuse me for the patchy beginning, the first 2 minutes where I wasn't cabled properly, but also thank you to Paul, the Breakfast King of Loyola, Alan Always, Andrew Lukov, Mr. Zosh, David, Midoji Scali, Flea, Rich, Art Art, Ryan Smith, Euler, Maurizio Borba, Gidget, Thomas Corcoran, and Steven, Stephen Crow. But thank you everyone. Dagon, that happens. If you're watching, then sub. If you're not watching, then have a great time anyways. Merci Dave. À plus, à bientôt.